Romance of the Rose, number 254. A medieval poetic book written by John de Moon. What is love? Is love happiness? Is love a mental illness? Is love suffering? According to the poem, it is a mental illness, affecting two people of the opposite sex that comes upon through a burning desire, born of disordered perception, to embrace and to kiss and to seek gratification. Andreas Capellanus states, love is a certain innate suffering caused by seeing and thinking too much about the shapeliness about someone of the opposite sex. Pop songs justify that love is to suffer. You feel pain when they are gone, and to the extreme, anxiety when they are around. Pat Benatar, Billie Holiday, and the J. Geils Band all wrote songs about love and suffering. Pat said, love is a battlefield. Billie said, you don't know what love is until you've learned the meaning of the blues. J. Geils said, I've had the blues, the reds, and the pinks. One thing's for sure, love stinks. Boethius, Alan of Lille, and Guion were all influencers on John's Romance of the Rose, Guion being the biggest influencer of them all. Guion said, no pain can equal that suffering by lovers.
I'm just crazy about that woman.
The Romance of the Rose is presented as a reoccurring dream. He's in a garden surrounded by personifications of the psychological considerations that arise in a love affair, being pleasure, cruelty, farewell, welcome, and the god of love. Through seduction being jealousy, evil, chastity, fear, and shame. The personification reason, being one of the main personifications in the story, compares love to an illness, and to not let irrational passions of love take over us. We should, at the end of the day, not give in to love if suffering is the end result. Reason also doesn't know the meaning of the blues. Reason, in the Romance of the Rose, has its say, but not the final word. Another personification is false seeming. They say, successful seduction often involves the accompany with the truth, and to rub onion juice in the eyes to create a convincing display of love-struck weeping. False seeming speaks on behalf of the mendicant movement on self-imposed poverty. False seeming boosts the cunning hypocrisy that makes it possible to amuse wealth while requiring a reputation for utmost purity. We pretend to be poor, but we have everything while having nothing. The personification friend gives the central character advice on how to obtain the rose, not as an instruction manual for courtly love for dummies. Friend is there to try to say something about love and its correct place in human life, or its place it is inevitably going to take, whether right or wrong. Personification nature, being well-ordered, design of the cosmos and the heavens. Nature itself is supposed to be the one that imagines and describes rather unnatural scenes. Like when she talks about if animals could reason and talk, what would happen? Reason then comes back and is the most diverse to John's true attitude towards sexuality, with believing it is irrational. Doesn't mean there is no proper sex in the good life. For humans, sex is required for our species to live on. When genius, another personification, names Socrates as a paradigm for rationality. Lever responds that I would not give 3 chickpeas for Socrates. Genius's observation on the whole is whenever Love spied on me sitting, listening to the sermon, he took a spade and threw out my head by one ear, whatever reason put in the other. Our fallen state, we are incapable of listening to the call of reason and giving sex its proper value. Where we feel natural desire, we're carried away by unrestricted lust. The lover rejects reason and reason's advice, but that doesn't mean we should follow. Reason also speaks for Jean as to love all humans. Don't just obsess over one particular human. It is also unclear if reason is a target or instrument for his satire. Reason goes into a theory of Saturn and Venus, where Saturn is castrated and his testicles thrown into a sea, resulting in the birth of Venus. The reason behind reason using the word testicles instead of a euphemism is that Plato taught that language is for communication. Near the end of this point, reason made itself make appropriate words for the things created by God, so there can be no objection for reason's use of bad or frank language. The end of the book was very climactic, with the lover achieving his objective of deflowering of the rose, which I personally am shocked by how he relates his labor to Hercules as he struggles to force his staff through a narrow passage. You get the point. With that being said, that shows that even euphemism is just as obstruct and obscene and much more pornographic than plain speech. Only humans violate the correct order with their sexual immoderation. More of the personifications that do not have a big role have been allowed to state that it is only natural for humans to engage in sex outside the bounds of marriage. The story of the Romance of the Rose is him stating a dialogue between points of view. The Romance of the Rose is a poem that is in love with philosophy, but hesitates to get into a committed relationship. I have made 3 points. 1, philosopher's view that love is suffering. I have made points on the different personifications that Jean has used in The Romance of the Rose. And I have also stated that euphemism is not always good to use in communication.